in internal medicine at Cleveland Clinic in Ohio. He worked as an academic hospitalist at MGH before pursuing his passion and completing his fellowship in gastroenterology at Leahy Health in Burlington, followed by a fellowship in advanced endoscopy at UMass Memorial Health System in Worcester. He also holds a Master of Public Health from the Harvard School of Public Health. His areas of clinical expertise include advanced endoscopic procedures, including third space endoscopy. The title of his presentation is New Frontiers in Minimally Invasive Gastrointestinal Interventions. Yeah. Dr. Mahmood, thank you again for accepting our invitation. I will now turn it over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Jaber, for the very kind introduction. I just want to confirm that you can hear me.
We can hear you and can see your slide deck.
Perfect. Great. So the presentation today, I'm hoping to review the most recent advances in interventional endoscopy. We'll be then talking a little bit about third space endoscopy and how the applications of third space have continued to increase and expand. And then finally, we'll be wrapping up with applications for advanced resection techniques, including the possibility of transmural resection via endoscopy. So to place things in perspective, I want to take you back to the late 19th century when Dr. Howard Kelly at Johns Hopkins University introduced the first rectosigmoidoscopes, which were known as the Kelly tubes. These were rigid instruments. And what's interesting is that it took almost half a century when Dr. Hershowitz in the mid-1950s presented the first flexible fibroscope at a meeting of gastroenterologists in Colorado Springs. And that really laid the foundation for advanced endoscopy and endoscopy in general as we know it today. Shortly thereafter, in the mid-1960s, the first complete colonoscopy was reported from Italy, and then the first successful cannulation of the major ampulla, which laid the foundations for modern-day ERCPs. And it wasn't until the mid-1980s that you had the first prototype of the mechanical sector instruments for endoscopic ultrasound. And I provide this history because I think it underlines the point that as advanced endoscopists, we really stand on the shoulders of giants. And today, advanced endoscopy is a pretty wide field. And what I've listed here are the foundational procedures for advanced endoscopy, starting with endoscopic ultrasound, which has a wide range of diagnostic and therapeutic capabilities, allows us access to the mediastinum and retroperitoneum, etc. ERCP, which allows access to the biliary and pancreatic ducts. Polyp resection techniques, and the most common resection technique being EMR, endoscopic mucosal resection. The ability to perform radiofrequency ablation for treating conditions like Barrett's esophagus, deep bowel enteroscopy, and then we have a wide array of enteral stents that we use. However, over the last 10 years, there's been an explosion in device innovation in the field of advanced endoscopy. And now we can perform a variety of different interventions. We have the capability of using EUS to access excluded stomach and Roux-en-Y bypass anatomy. We can drain gallbladders. We have catheters that will allow us to measure portal pressure and perform liver biopsies, which are comparable to percutaneous liver biopsies in terms of core samples, and then also biliary access. The big innovation in ERCP has been in the introduction of cholangioscopy, introduction of high-definition cameras inside the biliary tree, including intrahepatic biliary tree, and that's opened up the avenues of advanced tissue sampling and endoscopy-directed lithotripsy. But advanced endoscopy has continued to expand. We have advanced closure devices, including the ability to perform endoscopic suturing. We now have anti-reflux therapies, and there's a device we can use to perform endoscopic fundoplication. And the field of endobariatrics has continued to grow with the use of intragastric balloons, the ability to perform endoscopic sleeves. And then finally, what I'm hoping to discuss today is the field of third space endoscopy, and then also advanced resection techniques. So here is a diagram of the cross-section of the gastrointestinal tract. And as we all know, there are 4 layers. You have the mucosa on the superficial aspect, and then the serosa on the outer aspect. And what gastroenterologists realize that in between the 2 muscular layers, the muscularis mucosae and the muscularis propria on the outside, there's the submucosa, and it is an expandable space. And this is